What's up, everybody? Jacoby Draws coming at you live with another, not live commentary, but a post commentary. That's what it's called. Today I got a nice little sketch slash pin drawing that it's a tattoo I'm doing for a friend. It's inspired by Icarus, and it's kind of my own take on it. I will say, I did take this pose, the anatomy and everything, from another artist. So the original idea of the body shape is not my own, but everything else is. I just took inspiration from it, and since drawing bodies is hard, but I think it turned out really, really, really well. I'm really happy with it, so I hope you guys enjoy. But yeah, so let's just dive into it. I'm starting off with the basic sketches first, just kind of laying down the groundwork and everything, getting in like the basic shapes and blocks of shadow and stuff like that. The feet were really awkward to draw at first, and it was something I had to really just like trust. I just had to let the process continue and not try and freak out, even though I already was. But so now, after I got my basic sketch in, I'm just gonna go in with pen and start my stippling process. Why I gravitated towards stippling, I'll never know, because it's probably the most painful way to draw something, but it's just so satisfying to look at, and it feels very cohesive with my own style, or like very I don't know. It works well with my drawing. Let's just say that. My friend gave me the idea that he wanted some type of Icarus tattoo, so I was thinking, and I know Icarus, in the story, it's a story about hubris and kind of allowing your own pride to take the better of yourself. Obviously, he falls from the sun because he gets too close to it and has a terrible, tragic end to his life, as the Greek stories go. But I kind of wanted this one to be a little more hopeful, so as you'll see, like, rather than falling, I want to capture the moment of when he truly was not succeeding, but like going towards his goal with confidence, even though he knew it could fail. I wanted the tattoo to represent that, the drawing to represent that, rather than the more tragic side of his story. So yeah, so that's why he's going more towards the sun rather than like, I've seen some other Icarus tattoos when I was looking for concepts, and a lot of them show him falling with his wings falling apart or off altogether. So I wanted to do a different concept. I haven't done a piece with such realistic anatomy in a long time. I can't even remember the last time I did something like this, so it definitely was a bit scary, and I did rely a lot on the other artists' work to see where shading should go, the shape of the body. But I think after doing this, I feel a lot more confident in my ability to do this. It's hard to do it without a reference, to know exactly where all the shading would go, and every little detail of the muscles and stuff. But it's something I want to work on more as an artist, to study anatomy. I know all artists should do it, but sometimes I just feel like people get a little too bogged down into trying to make everything look perfectly correct, anatomically correct and stuff. Got his little loincloth there. He's still a gentleman. Still covers. At this point I was like, okay, the feet are kind of coming together. And then there was that. I was like, what is that line? It looks like he's got big boots on, goulashes. But once I had the like shading, I think it looked a lot better. But I did have to trust the process on these feet for sure. I've been doing a lot of painting recently. I just started a new painting, which I'm really happy with so far. It's similar to the drawing I just posted last with the flower in the face, and that's been really nice. As much as I love doing drawings like this, it's probably my favorite form of drawing. I just love adding color to things, and especially with paint, it's so malleable. I've really enjoyed doing that. I don't think I'm doing a time-lapse video of that painting, but I can post it if you guys are interested. I've been posting a lot more on Instagram and TikTok as well, more short-form stuff. So if you guys are wanting to look at that, you should check it out. It's the same Jacoby Draws on everything, so. But yeah, YouTube is definitely a tough atmosphere to work in, a tough ecosystem for sure. It's very competitive, and it takes a lot more work, in my opinion, to make the algorithm like you. So I've been kind of thinking about that a lot, but also just kind of letting it go and letting the wind of the creativity take me where it needs to go, and making the videos I want to make, and people who like it will like it and watch it, and that's great. I really want to start printing my work, making prints of my drawings and paintings. I just haven't figured out how to do that yet. So I think I'm going to look into that. It should be fun. So at this point, my wrist and fingers were absolutely on fire. But I was like, I have to keep going, got to keep pushing forward. This is probably an hour and a half work into it. And I was pretty tired, so I moved location, went outside. It was really nice that day. And so I hope you guys can enjoy like the shade. I think it's kind of cool. Some real time, just to show how long it takes just to do a little bit of dots. As tedious as stippling is, it's very meditative because it does take a lot of patience and trusting, the final outcome, because it doesn't really look like what it should at the beginning because it's just a little bit of dots. But when it starts to come together and you see the picture, it's very rewarding. I think that's another reason I like this style so much. So now I'm moving on to the sun. I wanted it to have a very archaic, fantasy-like quality about it. So that's why I'm adding the very, I wouldn't say cartoony like sun patterns, but very stylistic. I didn't want it to be too realistic of a sun. Still doing the rays in my own spindly style. This was definitely fun to do. I was definitely on my A game because I didn't want to mess this up for my friend. Of course, I can always redo it and do different versions, but whenever I do a work for a friend or I'm commissioned to do something, there's a level of focus that I have that I don't have when I'm just making something for fun. But it is a lot more enjoyable. Well, I'll say it's enjoyable to make something for myself, but also enjoyable in a different way when I'm making it for someone else, because I know I'm doing it for them, and my work kind of has more of a purpose when it's done for someone else. Oh yeah, at this point I realized, oh crap, I need to add the wings under the arms, and I had already put a bunch of details under there. So I had to kind of figure out a way to incorporate what I had just done. You'll see that soon. So kind of just adding some final shading touches to the body. And now I'm getting into the wings, which I realized again, oh, well, I'm gonna have to figure out how to cover that up. So I was just experimenting with some different styles, some different ways in which the wings could look. And I wasn't really happy with the way the left side was, so I tried a different way. I think I looked up a bird feather, a bird wing, to get some inspiration, and then found a pattern I liked, and then kind of just went off my own brain. I wanted the wings to feel very grand and magnificent. They do still feel kind of makeshift and not maybe ready to fly, but I also wanted it to have some power to it. Because even though Icarus's hubris was pretty blinding to him, and his arrogance may have caused his own downfall, you gotta admire the guy for trying, you know? I wanted his wings to represent that kind of bravery. I really like the texture that this creates. Adding just a little bit of shading really adds the depth, like the layers of wings, feathers on top of each other. I was nervous at first to really try and replicate the right side on the left side, wanting it to be as similar as possible, but at some point I was just like, you know what, I kind of like if they have some differences to show that they're more makeshift and not just some perfect creation. So then I really leaned heavily into the more loose style of the wings, wanting them to feel a little more makeshift. So I added some of those lines, kind of strings at the end of the feathers. Not really strings, but show the wear and tear on them and that they are taking kind of a beating against the sun. And there you have it, y'all. There's the final result. Thanks for sticking around and enjoying this little commentary. Comment down below what you'd like to see next, and if there's any tattoo ideas you'd like me to design for you. But thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day. Bye.